And first of all, we are going to create these message components right here. You can see this get started, create new account. At the end of the page, we have this login here instead. And on the login page, we have this text right here. Inside the components, I'm going to create a new folder, common. So inside this, I'm going to create a new file, welcome message. It is going to be export const header message. And the second one is going to be footer message. And inside this file, we are going to import some things first. So import from semantic UI React. And we are going to import our use router from next/router. And we are going to import our link from next/link. So inside this header message first, we are going to initialize our use router hook. And I'm going to create a boolean. So const signup route. We are going to basically have router.pathname is equals to /signup. And in the return statement, I forgot to import the packages from semantic UI React. So let's import them. We are going to need icon, message, and divider. And from this return statement, we are going to return a message. And again, you can check out the semantic UI documentation for all the information about the components and its props. And it is going to have an attached prop. Header is going to be if there is signup route, give the text of get started. And otherwise, we are going to have a text of welcome back. And after this header, we are going to have icon. So again, if it is signup route, we are going to show settings icon. Otherwise, we are going to show privacy icon. And after this icon, we are going to have the content. So again, if it is signup route, we are going to have create new account. Otherwise, we are going to have login with email and password. So inside the footer message, again, we are going to just copy these two variables. And from here, we are going to return and inside here, we're going to check if there is a signup route. We are going to return some JSX. Otherwise, we are going to return other JSX. So first of all, if it is signup route, we are again going to return a message. It is going to again have an attached prop, but it is going to be bottom. And it is going to have a warning prop. And icon name is going to be help. And the text is going to be existing user. And let's add some space right here. And after this, we are going to have a link prop. So inside link, the href is going to be /login. And here we're going to have login here instead. And after this message, we're going to add a divider. Hidden prop. This divider will basically add some margin below this message. So if it is login route, that means the not sign up route. I'm just going to copy and paste the layout. So on this, we are going to have two messages. If I show you the deploy version, we have this forgot password message, and then we have this sign up here instead message. The one of them will link to /reset page, which we are going to create. And then we have this href for sign up page. So now let's import this component in our sign up page and our login page too. And I'm going to remove this button right here. Components/common. So we're going to import our header message and our footer message. And here header message and footer message. Let's add fragments here. And I'm just going to copy this import statement and paste it in our sign up page. and here to this return statement. So let's see if it works. Oh, I forgot to add the color to this messages right here. So inside here on our this message for our header message, color is going to be teal. So now let's continue working on our sign up page, and I'm going to close out this component right here. So we're going to import the hooks, use state, use effect, and use ref. And now let's import the components from semantic UI React. We are going to need form, button, message, segment, text area, divider. And inside this function, I'm going to create state for our user and set user. It is going to be an object, and inside here we're going to have properties, name, email, password, bio, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and our Instagram. So basically these values are going to be for our inputs which we are going to create. And if I show you the deployed version, you can see right here we have all of these inputs, and this add social profiles. I'm going to create a button for that, and we're going to conditionally render it when the user clicks on this. So first of all, we are going to work on these inputs, and then we are going to work on this image drop div. This is basically going to be for our drag and drop and to upload the image. So I'm going to destructure out some properties from this user object. So I'm going to destructure out name, email, password, and bio. And also we're going to have some states. So it is going to be show social links and set show social links. So again, this state is for that button to show the social links input and hide them. By default, it is going to be false. And we are going to have a state show password and set show password. By default, again, it is going to be false. So this state is for our password field. If I type something in here, I want to give the user the option to view the password they have typed. So when they click on this icon right here, they can see the password which they have typed. And we are going to have an error state. So if there is an error message and set error message. By default, it is going to be null. And we are going to have a state for our username and set username. Use state is going to be empty strings. So for our username field, we are going to maintain a separate state because while the user types, I want to give the user the feedback that username is available or not. So we are going to maintain this username state separately. And also we are going to have a username loading and set username loading. So again, this loading state is going to be, you can see right here, the loader you get when the user types in something here. So you get that because of that username loading state. We are going to have a state for username available and set username available. By default, it is going to be again false. So if a username is available, we are going to show this tick sign right here. If it is not available, you can see right here, we're going to show this cross sign right here. So after this header, we are going to have a form. And this form can show whether it has an error or not, and also it can show loading. So I'm going to give you a brief about this on semantic UI React documentation. If I go search a form, and right here you can see the form can show loading. So we're going to create a state for that too. And also it can show an error if there is an error. So form loading prop, it is going to be form loading. We're going to create this state right now. So const form loading and set form loading. by default it is going to be false. And also, as I showed you in the documentation, the form can show an error. So error is going to be error message not equals to null. And also it is going to have an on submit. It is going to be handle submit. Handle submit. We are going to receive the event. For now, I'm just going to leave it at event.prevent default. And after this form, we are going to have a message. So message, it is going to have an error prop. And header is going to be oops. And content is going to be error message. So again, this message will only be available or only be seen by the user when there is an error in the form. And also on this message, we are going to add an on dismiss. And we are going to set our error message back to null. So after this message, we are going to have a segment. And inside this segment, we are going to have our form.input. This is going to be for our name. So its label is going to be name. Placeholder again is going to be name. The name of the input is going to be name. And make sure the name, whichever name you type value here is equals to this key. And value is going to be name. And on change, it is going to be handle change. Let's create this function here. Const handle change. We are going to write the code in after this, after we create the layout. And it is going to have a fluid prop. And icon is going to be user. And icon position is going to be left. So I'm just going to copy this input. It is going to be for our email field. So label is going to be email. Placeholder is going to be email. Name, email. Value again email. And on change will be the same. Icon I'm going to change to envelope. And icon position will be the same. And on this input, we are going to add an additional prop. It is going to be for a type email. So it is the same prop you type in HTML inputs. The type is going to be email. So now again, I'm going to copy this and paste it right here. Label is going to be this time password. Placeholder password. Name is also going to be password. On change handle change. So for icon, we are going to pass in an object. And also I'm going to add in a required prop here. And the type here is going to be show password. So if the show password is true, we are going to have text type of the input. Otherwise, we are going to have password type. So now on this icon, inside this object, name is going to be name of the icon. Circular is going to be true. Circular will basically format it as in a circular shape. You can say right, it is a circle. So link is going to be true. Link will basically give the user an indication that this is clickable. And on click, it is going to be a function. So we are going to set show password. If it is true, we are going to set it to false and vice versa, not show password. So if it is true, we are going to set it to false. And if it is false, we are going to set it to true. So to check this, first of all, let's write the code inside our handle change function. Inside here, we are going to receive the event. And we are going to destructure out the values which we are going to receive from event. So e.target. We are going to receive name and value. And here we are going to set the user previous values. And we are going to return the object, spread out the previous, and name is equals to value. So now let's see if it works. And let's also add this required prop on this name and email field. Required and required. So now if I type in this password, you can see we are being shown the characters as password. But if I click on this, you can see the password which I have typed is visible. And also it is working for this right here. So now let's create our input for our username field. Again, I'm just going to copy this right here. After this password input, this time the label is going to be username, placeholder is going to be username. And this input, we are going to have a loading state on this. So it is going to be username loading, the state which we created. And this input can show an error. So it is going to be not username available. So whenever the username available is equals to false, we are going to show this error right here. So for this on change, we are going to have an inline function. We are going to set the username, the state which we have, to e.target.value. If I show you the deployed version right here, let's remove this. And you can see right here, if I type in the text, it is acceptable. But if I type in the @ sign, it shows an error. But if I type in underscore, it is acceptable. So we are going to use the regular expression to verify that there are no special characters like @ sign inside the username field. So for that, I have this inside this utils, we have this auth user, and I am just going to cut it from here and remove this export. I'm just going to add it here. So inside this, we are going to type if regex username dot test. Every regular expression has a test method on it. We're going to test for the value e dot target dot value. If it passes the test, it is going to return true. Else, if it fails the test, we are going to set the username available to true. And here we are going to set the username available to false. For now, I'm going to show you this implementation, but we are going to create a separate function for this username in which we are going to make a request to the backend. And then we are going to check if the username is available on the backend or not. And here, let's change the value to username. And name and type, I'm going to just move. An icon, if username available is equals to true, we are going to show the check sign. Otherwise, we are going to show the close sign. So let's see. Now, if I type in something here, icon is set to check. But if I type in @ sign, cross is there and the input is set to red. Now for this bio and this add social profiles, I'm going to create a separate component. So inside this common, I'm going to create a new file, common inputs. So this is going to be a React component. And inside I'm just going to copy this import statement right here. Inside here, we're going to return form.field. And let's wrap it inside fragments. It is going to have required prop. Control is going to be text area. So basically this control prop will format this field as an text area. Name is going to be bio. Value is going to be bio, which we are going to pass in via props. So inside here, we're going to pass in the user, the state we have on our sign up page, and I'm going to destructure out the bio from it. And also I'm going to destructure out Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. So on change is going to be our handle change, which again we are going to pass in via props. So handle change and placeholder is going to be bio. So let's make it a self-closing tag. So after this form.field, we are going to have a button. Content is going to be add social links. Color is going to be red. And icon, @ sign. And type is going to be button. And on click, it is going to be a function again. So we are going to pass in our show social links state and set show social links function here. So let's receive it here. Show social links and set show social links. On here, we are going to set show social links to no So again, we are just toggling the state. If it is true, we are setting to false. And if it is false, we are setting back to true. And after this button, we are going to have if show social links is equals to true, we are going to only show this JSX then. So inside here, we are going to have a divider. We are going to have a form dot input. Icon is going to be Facebook. F. Icon position is going to be left. And name is going to be Facebook. Value is going to be Facebook. And on change, again, it is going to be handle change. So let's copy this right here. The next one is going to be for our Twitter. So icon is going to be Twitter. Name is going to be Twitter. Value again is going to be Twitter. So the next one is going to be for our Instagram. And the last one is going to be for our YouTube. So icon, and I'm just going to select them, YouTube. And after these inputs, we are going to have a message. So icon is going to be attention, and it is going to have an info prop. Size is going to be small, and header is going to be social media links are optional. So I'm going to import this component inside our signup page. So import common inputs from components / common and common inputs. So after this username, we are going to have this common inputs, and let's pass in all the props. So user state, so show social links, set show social links, and also we are going to pass in our handle change. So now let's check if it works. So now let's create this button here, sign up button. So after these common inputs, we are going to have a divider, and it is going to be hidden. And then we are going to have a button here. Content of this button is going to be sign up, and type is going to be submit. Color is going to be orange. And it is also going to have a disabled prop. For now, I'm going to set it to true. And if we go back, and you can see right here, it is disabled. So I want to create a method so that while the user types in, or if there is an error, this can change its state dynamically. So for that, we are going to create a use effect. First of all, let's create a state, const submit disabled, and set submit disabled. Use state is going to be true. By default, it's going to be true. So let's create a use effect here. And it is going to be every time our user state changes. So here we are going to type object dot values. So inside here we're going to type name, email, password, and our bio. And then we are going to have every method. So here we are going to have boolean and item. So basically all we are doing is creating an object.values with this object right here. Object.values converts the object into an array. And then we are using this every method. And then we are checking every item inside this array, which is created with this object.values, has an value. So if there is even one field inside this object which doesn't have a value, we are going to set the submit button disabled to true. So we are going to store its value inside a variable is user. And now we are going to check if is user is equals to true. So this is user is only going to return true when all the values inside this array has a value. So if isUser is equal to true, we're going to set submit disabled to false. Otherwise, we're going to set the submit disabled back to true. And now on this disabled, we are going to add the state right here. So if submit disabled or if username is not available. So in both these cases, this disabled is going to be set to true. So let's see if it works. If I type in some things here, and you can see, and still it is disabled. Now if I type in the username, and you can see it dynamically changes its state. But if I remove value from here, because we have the condition right here, if submit disabled is equal to true, or if it is not username available. So even if the username is there, and if I remove the bio field, the sign up button will automatically change its state back. So now let's start working on this image drop div right here. First of all, I'm going to show you how it is going to work. If we click on this right here, and maybe I go to desktop, and you select the image, we are going to show the user a preview here. And if I even drag and drop and place it, and you can also drag and drop this image right here. And if I move the image inside this segment, you can see that there is a green line there. So we are only going to show it if there is an image, or if the user brings this image inside this div, and if he moves out, we are not going to show this green highlight over there. So back into VS Code, we are first of all going to create some states. So const media and set media. Use state is going to be null, and const media preview and set media preview. Use state again is going to be null. And now we are going to have a state for our highlighted, so that green highlight, and set highlighted. Use state is going to be false. And also we are going to have a ref, input ref, and use ref. So inside this common component, I'm going to create a new file. It is going to be image drop div.js. Again, it is going to be React component. And inside here, we're going to receive those states. So highlighted and set highlighted. And also we are going to receive our input ref and our handle change function, media preview. And also we are going to receive our set media preview. And also our set media. So let's import this component inside this image drop div, and inside this segment right here, I'm going to place this image drop div and pass in all the props, media preview, set media preview, and also we're going to pass in our set media and our input ref and our highlighted and set highlighted. And also we are going to pass in our handle change. Make sure you have passed in all the props. And now let's start creating our image drop div. So inside here, we're going to import some components from Semantic UI React. We are going to need form, segment, image, icon, and header. And inside this return statement, let's add fragments. We are going to have form.field. Inside here, we're going to have a segment. It is going to have placeholder and basic props and also secondary. And inside this, we are going to have an input. Its style, we are going to set its display to none. So type is going to be file, and accept, we are going to accept images of all types. And on change is going to be handle change, and name of this input is going to be media. And on this input, we are going to have a ref of input ref. So now we are going to have a div here. So inside this div, we are going to check if media preview is equals to null. Otherwise, we are going to show different JSX. So if media preview is equals to null, we are going to have a segment. Its color, if it is highlighted, then we are going to show green. Otherwise, we are going to just leave it as it is. And it is going to have placeholder and basic props. And inside this segment, we are going to have a header. It is going to have an icon prop and icon name is equals to image, file image outline, and style is going to be cursor of pointer so that the user knows that this icon is clickable. And on click is going to be a function. So we are going to have input ref dot current dot click. So basically we are using this ref which we have right here on this input, and we're clicking this input right here. And after this icon right here, we're going to have text, drag and drop, or click to upload image. So if media preview is not equals to null, we're going to show a preview of the image the user has dropped. So now we are going to have a segment again. Its color is going to be green. And inside here, we're going to have an image. Source is going to be media preview. Size is going to be medium. It is going to have a centered prop. And style again is going to be cursor pointer, so that the user can change the image again if he wants to. And on click, it is going to be a function. So input ref dot current dot click. So on this div right here, we are going to have event listeners for drag and drop. And the first event is going to be on drag over. So when the user brings in the image inside this div, it is going to be a function, and we are going to receive the event. And all we are going to do is e.prevent default. And also we're going to set the highlighted to true. And now on drag leave. So if the user leaves the div, we are again going to receive the event and e.prevent default and set highlighted to false. And now the third event is going to be on drop. So when the user actually drops the image, and again we're going to receive the event and e.prevent default. So if you do not type e.prevent default, the browser actually starts downloading the image. And we are going to set the highlighted to true. And for now, first of all, I'm going to show you what you get inside that event. So console.log e.datatransfer.files. So now let's see. And you can basically just ignore this error. You can skip it. It won't affect your app in any way. So now let's bring in an image here. And you see you get this file list format which only browser recognizes. You cannot use that in your code. So first we are going to convert it into an array, and then we are going to extract that image from that array. So for that, const dropped file array dot from and e.datatransfer.files. So this will convert that file list into an array. And then we are going to set the media to dropped file. So dropped file will be an array, and the first element is going to be the image the user has dropped, and set media preview. So we are going to create a preview of the file the user has dropped. So for that, we are going to use url.create object URL, and we are going to pass in our dropped file and our first element. So media state is going to be for the actual image the user has dropped, which we are going to upload to Cloudinary. And the media preview state is going to be to create a preview of the image. So now let's see. And you can see right here, the image is there. And on this, if media preview is equals to not equals to null, I'm going to add a prop here. It is going to be placeholder and basic, so that it doesn't give this formatting right here. So if I click on this right here, you can see the image has not changed because we have not added the code for this input. This input is going to be open, and when it changes, we are going to write code for our handle change so that image is displayed. So inside our handle change function, we are going to destructure out another value from e.target. It is going to be files. And here we are going to have a condition check if name is equals to media. So we added this name prop on this input right here. We are going to receive that in the handle change function. So if name is equals to media, we are going to set media to this files and 0th element. So files which we receive from event.target is automatically an array. You do not need to convert that. And we are going to set the media preview. Again, URL dot create object URL, files and 0th element. So now let's refresh this. And now if I bring in the image here, you can see the preview is being shown. And if I click on it again, and if I change the image, you can see right here, the image is being shown. And on a deployed version, you can see we only need two inputs right here, a button. We already have these messages right here. So I'm just going to copy those from our sign up page. First, I'm going to just move these import statements, copy them. And we are going to need our user state. So let's move it there too. And we are only going to need email and password field. So let's remove other properties. Remove this right here. And also let's move this use effect. And also bring in these states right here. So it is these four states right here. And also we are going to need our handle change function. So let's copy that too. And let's do this media check. And also let's move these files. And now from inside here, we're going to need our form and our message and this segment right here. After this header message. And let's create a closing tags for this. And inside this segment, we are going to paste our two inputs. So input for our email and our password. And let's paste them right here. And also we are going to need our button. So let's copy it. And after this input, and let's remove this not username available check. And here content is going to be login. And let's create this handle submit right here. For now, I'm going to leave it at e or prevent default, just like we did in our sign up page. And also from this use effect right here, let's remove this name and bio. And also let's add a icon right here to this button. So icon is going to be sign up. And also on our sign up page, let's add this icon right here. And now it is working. So if I type in here jdo@gmail.com and the password, our use effect is also working. Button is changing its disabled state automatically.